Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Welcome, everyone, to Make Your Day Richer. I am here with one of the most amazing people I think I've ever met, Mary Thorsby. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
You really have to hear that kind of often. Don't lie that you, I've heard it from multiple, I haven't even known you that long, but the people that have said, Mary's amazing, Mary is the best, is just outstanding and probably overwhelming, I would guess, because you're doing such great work out there.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet to hear. And I think when you find your calling in life where all the pieces fit, you just can't help but, showing up every day excited and eager to make connections with people and, make lives better. Even at the end of people's lives, to add a little something.
So true. Now, I'm guessing that CEO is probably a title that you figured you'd have, but what about podcast co-host? Was that ever something you thought would be out there under your title?
Not exactly. I of course know about podcasts and thought, oh, that would be cool. But how on earth would we ever find the time to do it? And then the fabulous and amazing Natalie Buster said, let's do a podcast. And it's hard to say no to Natalie.
That's true. That's true, which is why,
she's really taking the lead on this. And I've enjoyed so much participating in it. It's just wonderful.
It has, so full disclosure, I've been helping them with the podcast and editing it for them. It premiered last week. A new episode out today and every Monday for a little while. What has it been like making this podcast?
Natalie and I and several of us in our Abode community have lots of what we find very interesting conversations about end of life and the experiences that we encounter, the challenges we encounter, our own personal ones as well as those at Abode. And we have access to so many experts. So it's been really fun to think about topics and share these conversations with the world. So we're hopeful that folks who find this field interesting and it tugs at their heart and they want to know more, we love sharing what we know. And of course, we love learning from everyone else too. So it's been very satisfying and exciting to have another platform to share our knowledge with whomever finds it interesting.
And it's a great, amazing, there aren't enough adjectives for me to describe this podcast because I am learning so much. And it's also about a very serious subject that everybody goes through, which is death. But you do it in such a way that makes it comfortable and also you can I don't even know how to explain it. You go, okay, I think I'm okay with it. It becomes manageable. Maybe that's the word I'm thinking. It makes it where it's not so scary. And I know that's exactly what Abode. Tell everybody about Abode and the work y'all are doing. You're celebrating 10 years this year, which is phenomenal. How long have you been with Abode?
I've been running Abode for the last 5 years. So Abode, our organization is called Abode Contemplative Care for the Dying. And it began and continues to have a beautiful home here in San Antonio, Texas, on Post Oak Lane, a very pretty suite. It's a very pretty street. And the home was built from the ground up by Edwin and Patsy Sasick and a team of supporters. Edwin and Patsy had worked in hospice for many, many years. And as you may know, hospice is a service. It's not a place. Hospice comes to you where you are. So they would go see hospice patients and find them often in less than ideal conditions or without the proper care around the clock. Hospice is not with you physically 24 hours a day. Or people who have no one at all. They have no home even. And Edwin had a vision of creating a beautiful place where people can come and receive the very best of care at no cost. We run completely on donations and grants.
Wow.
So now we are moving into our 10th year, and we have cared for over 460 San Antonians here in Texas. And only place in Texas. Sorry, Richard.
It's okay. Yeah. So I do have a question though. Do you have to live in San Antonio? Or if I just love Abode and I'm in the area and I can get there, how does someone get into Abode? Because I know there's a process with hospice care.
There is. In order to come to Abode, folks have to be on hospice. And the hospice agency will determine that they can no longer live at home or they have nowhere to go. And if they're confident that their guest or their patient has 3 months or less longevity, they can refer them to Abode. So we take care of folks at the very, very end of life. We're not a long-term place. We're not assisted living or a nursing home at all. That's nothing like that. We're simply a residential home. So hospice will refer their patient to us. And if they meet a few certain guidelines and we have an open room, then we welcome them. If our rooms are full, we can often send an Abode doula to wherever they are to provide extra service. But in general, the folks who get referred to us, we welcome them, or they go on a referral list or a waiting list, and we take them as soon as we can. And we're able to help quite a few people.
Gosh. How has your life changed over the past 5 years?
Oh gosh, I think the main big change with me is understanding the word contemplative. First of all, understanding how Abode pronounces it, contemplative. And the way we think of it is being very present, being very in the moment, listening more than we speak, which I'm still trying to work on. But really being present for one another. The care that we deliver at Abode is very intentional. It's not rushed. It's just a totally different way of doing things than what you see like in a busy hospital. All of us who work at Abode and volunteers as well have contemplative practices of our own, like yoga. I do a lot of yoga. I do a lot of walking, meditation, just to always be in the moment and to realize we are here so temporarily. We have limited time, and most folks don't think about that, but I think about it all the time. And I really do strive to ensure that every day I'm doing something that I find worthwhile, that I also believe is a contribution to someone somewhere.
Yeah. How do you, the field that you're in is so emotional and heavy, and you work so personally and closely with people because you only have 3 people at a time at Abode. How do you manage to not go very dark a lot? What keeps you motivated and what keeps you happy?
Well, I get teary regularly, even just now, just talking about it, because it's just so it's heartwarming. It's a heart-centered way to live, and it's heart-centered work. So for me to get kind of touched and a little teary regularly all day long.
Yeah.
But I don't get depressed about it because we are offering such a beautiful service. What would make me depressed is if I were to see people dying in less than ideal conditions, or dying, in the street or what have you. but knowing that we have provided a beautiful service for someone who needs it and who deserves it. I think we all deserve, love and dignity in our last days, and we provide that. So I find that very gratifying, and I love being able to provide that gift.
Yeah, I know one of the things on one of the episodes was y'all were talking about dying with dignity and having a good death. And I know that seems strange for a lot of people, probably. Like, how can death be good? But it can be. And that's really what you all are providing. And that's what the podcast is all about, is how you can do that. I want to play a clip of the podcast. And you can get it wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube if you want to watch it. So take a look at this clip.
I read somewhere that we are the only living creatures who know that we're going to die. Animals may protect themselves from fear or what have you, but I'm not sure that animals and other living organisms know at some point they're going to die. But we do. However, we refuse to accept it.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine like the zebra running from the lion and going, you know what? I don't think death's going to happen to me. Sure, that might be the natural order of things, but I think I'm exempt. No, they don't think that way.
It happened to Henry the other day, but not to me.
Right. Henry the zebra. I love it.
I love that you and Natalie infuse humor in all of this, because there are bright moments during this process. I know you had a big fundraiser over the weekend that was beyond and raised more than you all thought. Can you talk about that and how exciting that was?
Yes. We invited the beautiful, fabulous goddess Alua Arthur to come to San Antonio and help us celebrate our 10-year anniversary. She is a very well-known death doula, and you can Google her, and she Googles for days. I mean, there's so many things she's done on the internet. Her TED Talk, you just Google TED Talk death doula or Alua, A-L-U-A, and it comes up. 1.6 million people have seen her, have seen that talk. And when I saw it, I thought, I've got to meet her. I want her to know about Abode, and I want everyone in the Abode community to know Alua. So I tracked her down. Actually, I participated in some training she had earlier this year through her organization, Going with Grace. She trains end-of-life doulas, and so do we at Abode. And I loved every minute of it. And so while I was there, I asked her if she would come, and she did. So we filled the Church of Reconciliation, which is nearby. And that church is actually where Abode got its beginnings. Our founders worshiped there, and the congregation rallied behind them, and all the early brainstorming was done right there. And so that's where we held the event, close to 300 people. And she was...
what a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was great. And she enjoyed it, and we enjoyed it. And I think she left us with a lot to think about and be inspired to just, enjoy every day and live life to the fullest. And, dying with no regrets.
If you're in the San Antonio area, I know you all welcome visitors, and please stop by the facility and talk to Mary, to Natalie about what is going on there, because it is such a beautiful way to end your life. And It's a touchy subject, but I'm glad the podcast is out there so it can be talked about. I'm glad I can have you on here because it's an important subject, because we all have no other choice. That's how we get out of here. So if we can do it the best way, and there's so many things around it, the paperwork, the estate plan, all of those things that you don't think about, you are diving into on this podcast. And I just can't thank you enough for putting it together.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Richard, for making us look good.
Oh, stop. If for no other reason, Mary and Natalie are always dressed to the nines on this podcast and are the most fashionable people I've ever seen on a podcast. So tune in just for that alone. Mary, final question. What do you want people to take away today about death? If they could take one thing away today, what would it be?
It's coming whether we want it or not, just as you said. And we really have a choice about it. We can embrace, we can dread it and be depressed about it and never want to think about it, never want to talk about it. Or we can embrace it and make friends with it and know it's coming, recognize that we have limited time. And what better motivator to do all those things you want to do and say what you should say, you want to say to people, and just make sure. See, I get teary anyway. Just make, this is it. This is our. We have one chance in life, as Eminem said, right? We have one shot, so let's get at it, and make sure that when it's time for us to go, we've done a great job living.
You're doing a great job. And if we can quote Eminem at 10 a.m., I'm fine with that. So, Mary Thorsby, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Richard. My pleasure. Thank you.
abodehome.org is the website. I just noticed in the graphic that it's spelled correctly. So we'll fix that and we'll put the links in the show notes so you can get there correctly. Mary, thank you so much. We will be right back after this.
Thank you.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. 1 month of advertising starts at $200. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Are you an independent creative looking to take your career to the next level? Whether you're an author, illustrator, or thinking about getting into this industry, it's time to step into the spotlight at the Inkpreneurs Summit 2024. This November 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we're bringing together the best minds in the publishing industry for 2 days of unparalleled learning and intimate networking. From hands-on workshops with industry experts to interactive networking mixers, you'll get the tools, connections, and insights to turn your creativity into a thriving business. And that's not all. Our Fresh Ink Pavilion is the place for new and emerging authors to showcase and sell their books, right in front of passionate readers and industry pros who are ready to support your journey. Plus, meet our incredible lineup of speakers sharing your secrets to success in publishing and beyond. Space is limited and early bird registration is available until September 30th. Don't miss out. Secure your spot today and get ready to elevate your creative career. Visit inkpreneursummit.com to register. Let's give your creativity the success it deserves. See you in Winston-Salem.
I'm going to be there in Winston-Salem doing a couple different speeches. So make sure you go and get your tickets. There's early bird special that ends at the end of this month and 10% off. So we'll see you in November. Hey, thanks for 40,000 views and downloads of this here program right today. I cannot thank you enough. And thank you to all the guests who contribute to that, all the people who are watching. It's an amazing, amazing privilege that I have here to be with you every morning. And I'm glad to be here with you wherever you're watching. So let's get to 41, shall we? And then 50, and then let's do this. Also, what else do I have to tell you here? One day Rosie O'Donnell will be on this program. And so every once in a while, I'd like to show you some of my collection of Rosie things. And this is my signed Rosie O'Donnell photo from the Flintstones, Betty Rubble, 1994. Signed, certificate of authenticity, just in case you thought someone was lying about Rosie's. Do you know that in probably middle school, I figured I would practice her signature all the time, and I would write it on everything. And my English teacher yelled at me because I would put it on all my papers. Back when you would write papers and not type papers. And I still remember because it was traumatizing. I had her name printed on the side of the paper, and he put an arrow and said enough. I was like, okay, so sorry. Oops, whatever. Okay, what else do I have to tell you? Hey, I watched this movie this weekend. I've seen it before, but I watched it again, so I wanted to show you what it was. Did I not put it in here? Oh, that's going to be so sad. I didn't put it in here. I'll tell you about it tomorrow so I can show you. Remind me tomorrow to tell you about the movie I watched this weekend. That's a great, great movie that you should see when your children are not around. Okay. There's a podcast festival this weekend, an extra Make Your Day Richer TV this Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. Go to poduty.com, PODUTY.com. Get your free tickets. A bunch of podcasters are going to get together to live stream here at the Podcast Fest. My guest is the one and only James Quinn, who is a writer, an actor. He's also going to be at the Inkpreneur Summit. So I hope you should tune in on Saturday. It won't be here where you usually watch this show, but I think we're going to end up having it as a show later. Okay, that's it. And because if you don't want to get yourself in front of 40,000 people, and who wouldn't, become an advertiser at makeyourdayricher.com/advertising. Get on the show. We'll get you hooked up. Send us a message or go on that website and fill out the form. I think that is it. I forgot all my overlays today. Who's in charge? First, the graphic. Whoever does these graphics is fired today. It's me. Abodehome.org. ABODEHOME.org. We missed an E there in that graphic for Mary and the podcast. And tomorrow, we've got another great show. Amy Mandelge is here to talk to you here live. She won't be here. She's actually from the UK. So she's going to be on the TV, but I'll be here and you'll be here. I'm going to go now. Have a great day, everyone. Make your day richer. Make someone else's day richer. I thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Monday, everyone. Bye-bye.